So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm the last presentation, so I'm between you and dinner. So I'll try and keep this short. So my name is Sammy Dweck. As Marty explained, I used to work for JP Morgan many moons ago, and I've been here in the US over a decade. I have my own consulting business, the Family Office Doctor. I work with very large single family offices across the globe. And more recently, I got involved with the Miami-Dubai Chamber of Commerce. And the reason I got involved is firstly because my family is originally from the Middle East. So my mother is from Beirut, my father Cairo. We are Syrian Lebanese. My first languages were not English. It was actually Arabic and French before I learned English. And it was very interesting growing up in England in a Middle Eastern family home. And it became very useful for me during my time at JP Morgan. I built all of their emerging markets businesses across the globe. And when I moved here, 2013, I got very involved actually in going up on Capitol Hill and talking to members of the House, so Congress and Senate, and I would lobby them without giving them any money and educate them on the Middle East, because it's something that really impacts the United States, but there is a very lack of understanding of how you do business inside the Middle East. And when you are culturally unaware, the risks multiply. And coming from a multicultural family, you know, if you don't get it right in the Middle East the first time, they just close the doors and they don't talk to you, and that's it. It's game over. So the Miami-Dubai Chamber of Commerce was started recently, and in fact, speaking to you today is actually very fortuitous because today is Eid al-Adha. So it is actually the 53rd anniversary of the creation of the UAE. Okay, so I'm very happy to be, speaking to you today. And Marty, that was good timing, not planned, but I'll take it. And the reason for creating the Miami-Dubai Chamber is really important, because you'll say, well, isn't it UAE, US? Well, yes, kind of, sort of, but no. And the reason that we did it as the Miami-Dubai is because when you look at those two cities, they really are gateways. Miami is the gateway not just to the US, but to Central and South America. And Dubai is the gateway to the Middle East. It's very interesting how similar and yet different both places are. And we are seeing a lot of business actually go in both directions. So the creation of the chamber is to enable and enhance business between UAE GCC, US, Central South America. And we're already seeing signs of that. And as I mentioned, and I'm not going to go through all the slides, but I'll talk very high level. If you were to come to my house and my mother was to offer you coffee, you don't say yes. Because if you say yes, means that you're not aware of who they are and you're putting her out. And the first answer is always, no, thank you, I really appreciate the offer. It's on the second time that you will say yes, and you never say no on the third time. Take it, don't drink it, don't eat it, but take it. Because after the third time, now you're insulting them. You're insulting their hospitality, you're in their home, show respect. So having cultural awareness of how do you go and have a meeting in the Middle East? What are the do's and don'ts of having a meeting in the Middle East? When I moved to the US, it was a culture shock for me. I'm so used to doing business in Europe and other areas of the world. I'd go into a meeting and there was not even a, who are you, why are you here, what are we talking about? It was like straight into it. And it was like, bloody hell, you don't even know who I am. Having cultural awareness, understanding is absolutely box critical. Knowing how to prepare for the meetings, knowing what you're going to do, who the people are, what are the protocols, what's the regulatory situation, how do I connect to the people over there? And that's really why we created the chamber, was to create a system, a setup where people can come to us, and our responsibility is to help you and enable you bridge that gap. And the chamber works in both directions. So we have part of the people sitting here in Miami and part sitting in Dubai. so that we can enable people, whether it's coming from the GCC and UAE here, because they have a lot of capital that they want to bring over here and invest. They need to diversify their risks, just as much as people are very interested to go out to the UAE, and especially a lot of people, Bitcoin, crypto, AI, a lot is going on in the UAE. With the opening of agreements with Israel and others, it's amazing that when the Abraham Accords were signed, it wasn't UAE money going into Israel, it was Israelis going into the UAE. It was the opposite direction, and something that people aren't really aware of. So within the Chamber of Commerce, we're creating different divisions. I head the family office division. We have another of our partners who's heading up the private equity and ventures division. And again, it's to enable people to be able to go in both directions and connect to the Chamber of Commerce. So we've opened up the Chamber to membership. We're welcoming people. We're there to help. We're actually having our first event in Dubai on December 10th at the Capital Club. And we'll be doing an event here end of January. I'm not going to hold you guys longer, but Yolanda, who's one of my co-founders, is at the back of the room. I'm here. If you have any questions, we're here to help. And Marty, thank you for opening the floor to me.